Hello everyone, and welcome to the first of two training sessions focused on TrueView performance. My name is Bert Lamar, and I'm an agency training lead here at Google. With me today is my agency training teammate, Rachel Rogwin, who will be producing today's Hangout on Air. The goal of today's session is to establish a layer of foundational learning upon which we will build during next week's session, TrueView Performance Advanced Strategies. I really hope that you'll join us for that session as well. Okay, now let's get started. We'll begin with a little housekeeping before we dive into the learning objectives for today's session. First, I'd like to remind everyone that this Hangout is being recorded, so you will have access to it following today's session. I also encourage you to submit questions or comments during the session. In order to do so, first make sure you've clicked Yes, you are attending. Next, locate the Say Something field located directly under the presentation window and type your questions or comments there. We also kindly ask that you complete a post-training survey as soon as the session is complete. Your feedback is very important to us. We value your input and use it to improve our trainings. Now let's review our learning objectives for today. By the end of this training, you should be able to describe the TrueView suite of products, articulate the TrueView value proposition to your clients, create a TrueView online video ad campaign, and execute some best practices for creating effective video ads and optimizing campaigns. Next, we'll take a look at what we'll cover specifically what we'll cover during today's session. We'll lay the groundwork for the foundational learning session by answering the question, what is TrueView? During which we'll explore the TrueView family of ad formats. Next, we'll cover the TrueView value proposition for advertisers, including the extensive reach of the YouTube video network, a unique pricing model that charges advertisers only for engaged views, and analytics that can help them to maximize their ROI. And once you have a clear understanding of what TrueView is and its value to advertisers, we'll examine some best practices for creating engaging video ads and optimizing campaigns. We'll follow up our discussion of best practices with a demonstration of how to set up a TrueView video campaign, including selecting an ad format, bid price, and targeting options. And we'll conclude with a look at some TrueView case studies and a review of some key takeaways from today's session. All right, it's time now to launch into our first topic. What is TrueView? The answer to that question begins with an overview of the TrueView family of ad formats. TrueView video ads are a family of ad formats where advertisers only pay when viewers choose to watch their ad, not when an impression is served. Hence, the advertiser only pays for a TrueView. The TrueView ad family consists of three formats: TrueView in search, TrueView in display, and TrueView in stream, all of which use the click per view or CPV bidding model. Now, the point at which an ad is considered to be TrueViewed is slightly different for each ad format, but the main idea here is that the advertiser only pays for an engaged view. In addition to only paying for an engaged view, if the ad is TrueViewed, then it will count as a YouTube video view for that ad. Now let's drill down into some more details on each of the TrueView ad formats, starting with in search. In search ads promote a video above organic search results on YouTube. Viewers see the ad as they're searching for or watching relevant videos. They can click on the ad and will be directed to the advertiser's watch page to view it. The ad plays for 5 seconds, then viewers can choose to skip or watch the ad to the end. And advertisers only pay when people choose to view their videos. All impressions are free. Now, targeting options include keyword, category, placement, and demographic. The next ad format we'll cover is in-stream, sometimes referred to as skippables for reasons you'll understand shortly. In-stream ads promote a video ad before, during, or after a video on YouTube or the Google Display Network. The ad plays for 5 seconds Then viewers can choose to skip or watch the ad to the end. Advertisers are only charged if the ad has been watched in full or for at least 30 seconds. Now, targeting options include keyword, category, placement, and demographic. The third and final ad format in the TrueView family is in-display. In-display ads promote a video ad alongside YouTube videos or web content across the Google Display Network. Users see the video ad as they browse relevant sites across the web. They can click to watch the video, pause it, adjust the volume, or click through to the advertiser's site. Advertisers are only charged if the ad has been watched in full or for at least 30 seconds. Now, targeting includes all GDN targeting options like keyword, category, placement, demographic, and interest. Okay, now that you all understand what TrueView is, we can move on to our next topic, the TrueView value proposition. So now you know that advertisers only pay for a true view, one in which a viewer actually engages with their video. Talk about a value prop. But it doesn't end there. Now, it's difficult to imagine any overview of the TrueView value prop that does not begin with the extensive reach of the YouTube video network. And with numbers like these, it's pretty easy to see why. 1 billion global visitors each month to the YouTube network. 6 billion hours are watched each month on YouTube. 100 hours of video are uploaded every minute, and it's at this point the second largest search engine on the internet. Now, a couple of additional statistics are that as of January 2012, YouTube has 800 million monthly unique users worldwide who upload 72 hours of video to the site every minute. Now, people are watching more than 4 billion videos daily, the equivalent of nearly half the world's population watching a YouTube video every day. All right, now let's take a look at another important aspect of the TrueView value prop, its ability to improve campaign performance by driving awareness, interest, consideration, and conversions. TrueView widens the purchase funnel to achieve more conversions while improving campaign performance across the entire funnel. Let's take a deeper look at how this works. Awareness drives performance actions for your brand. Brands like UTI, Universal Technical Institute, have been able to reach extremely hard to reach audiences with their TrueView campaigns. Now, UTI drove a lower CPL than on TV and enrollment rates 10% higher than with display. Now, likewise, they knew that they could find their audience of 18 to 34-year-old young males online and succeeded in doing so on YouTube, driving conversions on YouTube at rates cheaper than TV and more effective than display. Now, here's a quote from Tom Garrett, VP of Inquiry Generation and Optimization at UTI. He said, "If you look at young men's behavior on the internet, you'll see that watching videos on YouTube is one of our target audience's highest ranking activities. Since that's where they are, that is where we need to be." All right, now let's take a look at how TrueView can drive interest, creating more opportunities to convert at the bottom of the funnel. 51% of online video viewers between the ages of 18 to 44 would look up a new product or brand if they saw it mentioned in an online video. TrueView drives viewers even further down the funnel to site visitation and ultimately conversions, as we'll examine on this next slide. Video ads drive visitation and conversions. Video views lead to incremental actions. Last year, an internal experiment showed that advertisers who ran a GDN plus YouTube campaign saw a median of 36% lift in navigation and 36% lift in search. Now, an example of how an advertiser used video to move customers down the purchase funnel is TRX. TRX sells total body training equipment and exercise programs. Now, they started with a limited budget and rough video content which they put on YouTube. They found that the content was too long and too hard to find, so they weren't getting the ROI that they wanted. Then they made two big changes. First, they edited the content, focusing on the benefits of the product and capturing the viewer's attention more quickly with a concise message. Second, they launched a TrueView holiday campaign to help new customers discover TRX. They saw 5 times as much traffic from YouTube, and they doubled their conversion rate and revenue from YouTube traffic. One of their senior managers has said, "Because YouTube ads are the most targetable, flexible, controllable tool out there and delivers the best ROI for video advertising, I'm fully committed to it." Now that you have a clear understanding of the TrueView value proposition when it comes to performance, we can move on to our next topic. TrueView best practices. We'll review some best practices for creating TrueView ads and optimizing campaigns. Before creating your promotion, make sure to review YouTube's advertising policies and the Google AdWords editorial policy for GDN. You want to make sure that your advertiser is featuring engaging content with a real story. Make sure the videos that your clients create are engaging. They should be clear about what their business offers without feeling too much like a commercial. Content should be entertaining, informational, and relevant to what their business offers. If your clients are running in-stream ads, aka skippables, it's crucial that content is engaging enough to grab and hold the viewer's attention within the first 5 seconds. It's also a good idea to display the company's brand within that time frame. This way, even if the video is skipped, the viewer is at least left with that one impression. Inspire viewers with a clear call to action. Effective video ads educate and entertain, but also inspire the viewer to act. Make sure your clients' video ads clearly communicate to their customers what they'd like them to do, such as visit their brick-and-mortar store or website, call a phone number, or complete a purchase. One way to do this is with call to action overlays, which are eligible to show on TrueView in search in display. Now, this feature is available at no extra charge and can increase viewer engagement while adding an interesting element to your client's ads. Also, because they're associated with the video instead of the ad, call to action overlays will show whether their video is triggered through an ad or an organic view. Customize your bids per ad format. Consider changing your bidding on your TrueView in-search ads to increase the likelihood of your ads showing to interested viewers. In general, because viewers who choose your video in the in-search and in-display formats are considered a slightly higher level of engagement, it may make sense for you to increase your bids on these formats. Conversely, if you're more interested in views or branding strategy, consider increasing your bid on the in-stream format to increase the likelihood of viewers seeing at least part of your ad. Now, in a few minutes, I'll show you just how easy it is to set a different maximum CPV bid amount for each of the TrueView ad formats in your video campaign. Finally, you want to measure the impact of your ads so you understand how your audience is responding. Use AdWords for video reports to measure campaign success. Focus on views as a primary success metric. This can give you the info you need to have a complete picture of how all your videos perform. Now, a couple of very important metrics you want to consider are view rate. This shows out of the total impressions how many were views, and views are defined differently for each TrueView format. The other is cost per view, which shows how much each view costs. Now let's talk a little bit about where you find viewership and other metrics within your AdWords for Video account. In addition to view rate, cost per views, the Targets tab also shows your video ad performance by targeting group. You can select the ad segment from this tab to compare the performance of each ad for each targeting group. The Ads tab will let you review your ad's performance in a particular format: TrueView in display, in stream, and in search, and preview your ads. Since one video can be used in up to 4 ad variations, the tab shows your video performance in aggregate. And then finally, the Videos tab shows your video and ad performance in aggregate. However, this tab provides more meaningful context via the gray bar above the graph, known as the brag bar, so you can learn more about how your ad performed across different variations. The items in the bar are clickable, so you can review particular data segmentation. All right, now that we've had a chance to review some best practices for creating ads and optimizing campaigns, let's walk through a demonstration of creating an online video campaign. Alright, I'll begin by selecting the Add a Campaign button, followed by Online Video. That's going to direct me to the Create New Video Campaign page. Now you notice in the left nav bar all of the pre-existing video campaigns that I've created thus far are displayed. Now in the center here, I can enter a new campaign name. I'm going to go ahead and keep the default of campaign number 33, but I will enter a daily budget of $30. And then if I scroll down a little bit more, you can see this locations and languages section. This is where I could change the default locations and languages which are targeted by this campaign. Now, by default, all countries and territories are targeted in terms of locations, and English is targeted by default for languages. If I scroll down a little further, you'll see here this select a video button. I'm going to go ahead and click the select a video button, which will launch the video picker. Now, I can actually select a video here in a number of different ways. By default, I can search for videos by channel, or I could click the video URL link here, and then I could search for the video by its YouTube URL. But I'm going to go ahead and return to channel because I actually know exactly which video I want to use. I'm going to scroll down to this Freddie Mercury Google Doodle because I'm a huge Queen fan. I realize that I've just dated myself by saying that, but that's okay. Now this is going to direct me to the Add panel. This is where I can select the networks that I want my ad to run across, as well as the ad formats I'd like to use, and I can enter some ad attributes. Now, before I enter my ad attributes, I just want to show you that if I select the Let Me Choose option here, that's going to expose the networks that my ad's going to run across. Now, by default, that includes YouTube videos, Google Display Network, and YouTube Search. However, I can deselect any of these networks that I want to simply by clicking the checkbox. Now you can see that when I selected YouTube Search, that automatically deactivated the in-search ad format because that, of course, is the format that would run on that network. But I'm going to go ahead and reselect YouTube Search and choose Automatic as well because it's a good best practice to run your campaign across all of the various networks and ad formats, at least when you first get started. Right now I could also go here and change the ad format, selecting in display or in search. In stream is of course the default, and I'm going to stick with in search, and then I'm going to go ahead and enter my ad headline. Now you notice that as I'm typing in the ad attribute fields that the preview on the right is automatically updated. And then I can also change the thumbnail at this point if I want to, simply by selecting the thumbnail of my choice. But I'm going to stick with this first one because I really like that image. Right now I'll scroll down a little bit and enter a display URL. And a destination URL. This is the location that viewers will be directed to the landing page when they click my ad. And then finally the ad name field down here at the bottom. I also just want to point out that there are some advanced ad attributes and advanced settings at the very bottom of the page. I'm not going to discuss those now, as those will be covered extensively in next week's session, TrueView Performance Advanced Strategies. Alright, so finally I will go ahead and click the Save and Continue button. And that's going to direct me to the Select Targeting page. Now it's important to note that video campaigns don't use ad groups. They use targeting groups instead. Now, a targeting group is a set of targeting criteria and a cost per view bid that apply to all ads in the campaign by default. Although you can set up a targeting group to only apply to certain ads within a campaign, I'm not going to demonstrate that now, as I will cover that next week. All right, I'm going to go ahead and enter a max cost per view. I'm going to enter 60 cents. Now, it's a good best practice to start an in-stream campaign with a max bid of 10 cents and to work your way down to a lower CPV by gradually lowering the bid closer to the actual average that you're seeing. Now, you want to do the same for the rest of the TrueView formats, but start with a strong 60 cents and as high as $1 to say $1.50 for very popular keywords on the in-search format. Okay, now let's scroll down to targeting. Actually, before we do that, I wanted to show you that if I wanted to set a different bid per ad format, I could simply click the Customize Bids per Format link, and that would expose these additional fields here, where I could enter a bid per format. All right, now we'll scroll down to targeting. When you first create a TrueView campaign, all available targeting options are selected by default. And that's a really good thing, because when you first launch a TrueView campaign, you want to try out all possible targeting options that might allow you to reach your target audience. Now, you can create separate campaigns for your different targeting methods if you want to be able to control the budget that you allocate to each according to performance. But when you first get started, I would recommend going ahead and targeting across the board. Okay, now let's take a closer look at some of the targeting options available to you. We'll start with demographic. Now, demographic allows you to target viewers by age and gender. And as I mentioned before, all of the available targeting options are selected by default. But I'm going to go ahead and deselect some of these, in fact, most of them. My motives will become clear shortly. I'm going to click the Done button to save my changes. We'll take a look at topic targeting. This allows you to target viewers who are viewing videos about specific topics or subtopics, such as beauty and fitness, or beauty pageants, or body art. I'm not going to add a topic at this point. I'm going to move on to interests. Now, interest targeting allows you to target viewers who are interested in specific topics or subtopics, but who may not be actually viewing videos on those topics at that time. I'm going to actually go ahead and choose Auto Enthusiasts, select Add, and then choose Done to save my changes. Now, you might notice that I've actually ended up selecting the exact targeting parameters that UTI, Universal Technical Institute, selected in the case study that we reviewed earlier today's session. They wanted to target a very hard-to-reach audience of 18 to 34-year-old males who were auto enthusiasts, and this was the targeting parameters that they chose. You can see just how easy it was to select those. And then down on the bottom, finally, we have search keywords. These work just like search keywords for a non-video ad campaign, but apply only to search on YouTube. And when I'm all done, all I have to do is just select the Save Targeting Group button, and I'm all finished. Okay, now let's take a look at some key takeaways from today's session. There are 3 different ad formats in the TrueView family: in search, in display, and in stream, all of which use the click per view or CPV bidding model, so advertisers only pay for engaged views. In addition to its CPV bidding model, the TrueView value proposition includes the unparalleled reach of the YouTube network, with 1 billion global visitors a month, a wealth of targeting options, and access to key metrics like view rate and cost per view. Setting up a TrueView online video ad campaign is very similar to setting up a non-video campaign and won't take you much time at all. As demonstrated by the real-world case studies we reviewed, TrueView can improve campaign performance by driving awareness, interest, consideration, and conversions. Before we wrap, I'd like to let you all know about our upcoming TrueView training session. TrueView Performance Advanced Strategies. This will be held next Thursday, December 19th at 9:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week's session will build upon the knowledge you gained during today's session, and you'll learn some advanced TrueView campaign optimization techniques. I really hope you'll join us for that session. All right, I'd like to thank you all for coming and to encourage you again to complete our survey. I hope that you'll join us next Thursday for part 2 of our TrueView Performance series. Enjoy the rest of your day.